want to see what the case will be. And considering that Mu started off with the magic wand, you know, I'm kind of inclined to think that he's going to be the one laning against the Zeus.
Yep, he did indeed start with a magic wand. So let us get into it and see what he's going to be playing up as. Mu and Gunner have made these kind of swaps before, as you mentioned. They have several options to try and isolate exactly what their optimal playstyle is going to be. They'll be thinking about it. Gunner is starting off with a hatchet and a magic stick as well, so they can just decide down the line. Who's carrying the ward here? Looks like Z-Freak is the one that's carrying the vision on the other side, so the smoke most likely not going to be a kill run. So it's just about getting the positioning as far forward as humanly possible. This is going to be a fun game. Like, no matter what, no matter where we go with this one, this just seems like it's going to be quite entertaining. Several big ultimates on both teams. Both teams have different methods of winning the game, and both teams also scale quite well at different portions of the game. KBUS doesn't have the uber dramatic late game scaling that you sometimes get out of these like double dooms or whatever, but they still, it's not like they get left behind entirely as this game goes longer and longer. What's your read though, Harry? I know like a lot of us don't like these questions, but let's talk about this KBUS lineup. If they do win this game, what do you think they have to do in order to ensure that outcome?
Well, here's the deal. First of all, the CM and the Terrorblade should have a pretty decent lane. The CM is a very strong lane bully. I want to see how many mangoes he has. Okay, actually only one on PPD, focusing more on the tangos. So I expected him just to be annoying there. The thing is, you want to be playing around your Zeus for kills with both the Nyx and the CM, and you want to be rotating toward the Timber. You have the Nyx assassin, so you want the towers to fall. You need to make sure that the Timber has a good time. So I'm thinking that Warden will probably be lacking in terms of experience, which means that PPD will have to be a bit greedy on the top lane with experience, because the book will have to go to the Nyx. But the thing is, get the early towers, the Nyx invades, he gives the vision, you are trying to force out fights, but you're probably going to draw the line like not going into the enemy triangle and such, and just getting the Terrorblade farmed. So I think that's going to be the name of the game from KBUS. Pretty much everything is going to be standard, but if you're running for kills, you play around the Zeus. If you're running for towers, you're going to be around the Timbersaw.
Let's see what they're going to be doing as this game progresses. Terrorblade for Realm, of course, will be laning into this off-lane Doom. Mu is going to be showing up to his lane here. I mean, it's like you mentioned earlier, right? The fact that it doesn't really make sense to bring the Alchemist to the side of the map. You know, the acid spray plays doesn't help you all that much against a hero with as high armor as TB, so just get someone naturally be very beefy with some decent magic damage, and the option at some point for the Infernal Blade to deal some percent-based damage that Terrorblade can't really address properly. This PPD Crystal Maiden, one of the reasons why this hero does get picked up so much in this 5 position, its harass potential in the lane is a little bit absurd, honestly. It's so good. They're actually going to try to utilize that harass to try and get a first blood onto Z-Freak. He's in the trees right now, but Realm simply needs one more right click. He's trying to juke and jive through the trees. For now, it's successful, but PPD will find the final blast and will be able to claim the first blood with the Crystal Nova. TI winning captain PPD opens up this laning phase, and they might be reaching for more here. He's out of mana for the second Crystal Nova, but they might not even need it. Realm just needs another right click or two. He's gotten one to cancel out the salve from Mu, and the second one allows him to get the kill. Cool guys, do not look at explosions. Figures it out. That is a wonderful way to start this game if you are KBUS. Killing both heroes in the off lane, and one of those kills going the way of the Terrorblade.
Yeah, you know, PPD there even used the Crystal Nova to secure the first blood. I think he didn't need it because the right click was flying from the Terrorblade, and because of it, it almost cost them the kill on the Doom. But it was all perfectly calculated, you know. The last hit of Metamorphosis kills Mu. He even used the Scorched Earth, obviously not that big of a cooldown, but just a beautiful start for KBUS. With PPD not buying so many mangoes at the start, he has to go for the Arcane Aura level 2, but it is not an issue, considering without the meta you can't fight. You're actually not going to be going forward with the Frostbite bottom lane though.
We do have some aggression happening here. Of course, Stabile thinking about making a go onto the MMR tourist, but this is a Timbersaw. You can often debate yourself into taking a fight you're not actually ready for. The Timbersaw himself does have a pointer to Whirling Death, but no point into the Timber Chain, so Husky is actually 100% safe with this full harass down in this bottom lane. For the most part though, it's just going to be a farm fest in this side of the map until you get to like level 6 to threaten with the Rupture, or you get to the Aghanim Shot. You don't do too much against Timber as this Bloodseeker. I mean, Husky does have a point into the Nightmare, so we could potentially see Nightmare into Blood Right plays, but I think for the most part your priority is going to be farming up, and there it is right now. Nightmare, Blood Right. Is it going to be enough to kill him? I don't think so. He's fine.
Yeah, the second the Timber Saw hits level 3, it becomes very hard to kill him. Even when he is this low, just with few reactive armor charges, he's gonna be more than capable of surviving. And you can see that Warden is just trying to give him as much experience as possible. Weird to me that MMR Tourist actually went for the Whirling Death. Usually, you don't want to take that spell if you're up against agility heroes, because Costabile doesn't really care about that damage.
Doesn't care at all. I think the rationale here is that it's actually too dangerous for him to go forward. Oh, is he gonna die here? Guy's dead. Guy's dead.
Yep.
It's kind of too dangerous to go forward with the Timber Chain. So Whirling Death, I think, is mostly about just getting some degree of CS, and then he'll figure it out later once he has a little bit of farm. Top lane, we might have more action happening because Mu, once again in danger, running away from PPD and Realm. However, Z-Freak will instead choose to sacrifice his own life, giving them an easier target to go on, and KBUUS will take it. Will allow Mu to come back into his tower safely, but gives over yet another kill to this Terrorblade. He's been involved in 3 kills in the first 5 minutes of this game. Not the usual degree of aggression we see coming out of these TBs, but certainly Realm will not scoff at this. He'll be very, very happy. This will accelerate some of the timings on the items. He might not be getting as much CS, but you feel so good being able to get heroes out of this. But he might die now as Z-Freak gets the catch with the Fire Snap Cookie. They got the Scatterblast as well. They don't have enough damage though. PPD. He was busy doing some support shenanigans, but he comes back just in time to prevent them from being able to really run down Realm in the safe lane.
I have to really praise PPD. He has been doing everything right here. He did take a little bit more in the experience department, as we mentioned. He needs to do it because the Nyx Assassin will try to give a little bit more to the Timber Saw. Speaking about the Timber, they're going for Husky in the bottom lane.
Actually get that kill with the utilization as well of the Thunder God's Wrath, and then moving on to Costabile. This time it does actually hurt not having more points into the Timber Chain, but Thunder God's Wrath doing its work from the mid lane. Top, they actually end up getting the kill onto PPD as well. Alright, so supports gotten on the either side, 5 for 5. I guess it's fine. Given that it's these heroes, the most important thing for KBUUS is that I Annihilate got to be involved in an early kill. And down bottom is just important that they do not end up losing Costabile for nouns, and they manage to get something on the other side. They actually might try yet again with Costabile and Husky as he has respawned now. Nightmare into Blood Right, but absent having the level 6 on the Bloodseeker or having Aghanim Shard, we mentioned it earlier, you just actually can't kill him anymore. He's now level 4 as well, so 2 points reactive armor. He's completely fine in this lane from now.
Actually expecting Costabile to get the Javelin a little bit earlier, but he wanted to go for the phase boots. Meanwhile, Mu in some trouble. This aggression on the top lane never ends.
That's one of the things about Crystal Maiden. You don't ever have to stop this, right? You were wondering how many mangoes is PPD going to show up to in the lane with. Once he's gotten this Arcane Aura, that's a pretty much automatic Mango City. He'll buy ones every now and then, but the amount of harass and pressure you can provide to this lane, making life so much easier. I also really like the fact that they've never allowed themselves, even when their Metamorphosis is down, to have the TB be a vulnerable hero in this lane. They're always trying to do something. Love to see it. It might not be reflecting that positively in the overall CS department, but his net worth should be fairly decent. Nice dodge from Realm, away from the Fire Snap Cookie. Man, this aggression from both sides here, Harry Freak, does not stop in this top lane.
Yeah, for sure, though. Again, PPD is just playing the lane perfectly. He is going forward when he should. He is pulling when he should. Also getting these hybrid pulls off so that the small camp creeps don't die. He's pulling 2 or 3 creeps, always getting rid of the ranged one. And that's why the lane is in such a good position. That allows Realm to be a bit more aggressive. Obviously, earlier, he did go a little bit too deep and in the end ended up dying. But because of this moves from the Crystal Maiden, he is unable to do whatever he wants. And now, they want to go for Mu again?
Should be fine now. 2 points into the Scorched Earth this time around should enable the success of an escape. Z-Freak not gonna die yet either. I'm gonna be very curious to see exactly which go build Mu's gonna be going for in this game. No Hand of Midas queued up just yet, just starting with the Soul Ring, so we might see him reaching for a much earlier Blink Dagger. The one name we haven't really spoken about here, Harry Freak, because we've just had madness happening on both sides of the map. This mid lane, Alchemist versus Zeus. It is Zeus, and Zeus does not lose many lanes. It just goes pretty even, and it has been quite even in this mid lane, but of course this is Alchemist, so you end up losing out on the overall Greevel Street. While that's happening, bottom though, okay, Z-Freak actually showed up to this side of the map to help them assist with the kill onto Timber, and now they're gonna pop the smoke, immediately try and rotate towards this mid lane. There's a regen rune to contest. Husky will find the Nightmare. They should be able to find this kill. Z-Freak available with the Fire Snap Cookie. You're going to utilize it onto the Zeus. They do not want the mere Nyx Assassin kill. They want the Zeus, but with the Heavenly Jump and the Nyx dropping Impale, they can't get said Zeus. Instead, I Annihilate turns around onto them with the ultimate coming in. The heavens open, the damage comes through, and it's Snapfire that dies. The idea was there, just they were a little bit unfortunate because the Warden immediately present to break up that initiation going into the mid lane.
I mean, I agree the idea was there. Thinking that you can kill the Zeus with those heroes without any points in the unstable concoction was pretty optimistic, you know. Warden knew exactly what he should do. He popped the Spike Carapace, wakes up the Zeus, that stuns both the Bane and the Alchemist, who had the acid spray down. With that, the advance onto Zeus's life was just gone. So, you know, it was just hard. Interesting, PPD is maxing out the Crystal Nova, so he doesn't want the Frostbite to get taken away by the Chemical Rage, but I still see Frostbite as the best spell against the Seeker. Speaking of which, they're going for the Terrorblade top.
Yeah, they wanted to find him in the top lane, but he does manage to skirt into the tree line and TP himself out to safety. There are 3 heroes present here from the side of now, so they can try and aggress into the lane and put some pressure on the tower. That is the one drastic weakness that they have about their draft, that they do not have any natural tower sieges in the same way that KBU have in the form of the TB. They pretty much have to win their fights or be exquisitely positioned in order to put any damage out onto the towers in general. We will see Mu. Speaking of him, he comes across PPD in the jungle here. They just want to make that space so they can allow this push to go forth in this top lane. They know it's going to take a while for them to push this tower, and there's no way they can push it whilst also dealing with the adequate defense from KBU. So I like this option of trying to aggress into the jungle. However, it does mean that they do not have any pressure on the tower, so it's going to take a long time to fall at this rate.
Husky is just being super annoying. They're trying to delay the push on the bottom lane. If it Nouns opens up the map faster than the Timbersaw, it is a big win, because you already mentioned they have nothing to push with, but that's why the Terrorblade is coming bottom.
He wants to kill Husky, will be able to do so. They lose the Snapfire elsewhere on the map, and now Moo's looking like he's in danger as well. He will throw out the Doom. Okay, Terrorblade doomed up in the corner. Gunner shows up now, throwing in some damage. Does have unstable concoction now, and there's going to be an ultimate. But look at this. Realm, what an unfortunate position to be in. He gets caught out by not only the young acid spray from Gunner, but surrounded by creeps. Creates a nice opening for Costabile to run in onto him, and they end up losing multiple cores on this side of the map. It does cost them some very important lives in the form of Mu, but Costabile happy to clean this up, and more importantly, happy to give death onto this Terrorblade and delay his progression in this game even further.
You know, Terrorblade dying is bad, but I'd say the Timber dying is worse. This is the part of the game where the Timber shouldn't die. We already mentioned it. If he's dying in this part of the game, he's gonna become useless at some point. So you really need to keep him safe. They did even bring the Terrorblade there, but just with the Doom, there was so much for the Terrorblade to deal with, and he couldn't help it. But again, they're gonna try once more, because you have to open the map. If you're playing a Nyx Assassin, not having any towers down, this hero will just not be able to find any openings.
Speaking of Nyx Assassin, you're going to be able to get the jump middle onto Gunner. This Alchemist in a lot of danger here. Nightmare will buy some time, throws back a concoction. Doesn't have access to the Chemical Rage, but it doesn't matter. There will be a Fiend's Grip. Morty's Kisses being rained down from the skies as well. And between Husky as well as the Snapfire of Z-Freak, they are able to claim a kill back onto the Warden. This was a move from KBU US, thinking they were going to be able to pick up this Alchemist. You always feel so bad, Harry Freak. When you try to go for this hero, you fail to do so, you give up a kill. Now, not only is he staying alive, but given that he can just go back into Chemical Rage, that gives him his regen, easily able to clean up farm. And you thought you were going to be delaying this Radiance. Instead, you just gave him bonus gold to get to it faster.
You'll get it. You know, sometimes you're just happy with the Alchemist not hitting creeps, but this is a scenario where he even got the lane in the wave in the lane there, and just immediately went back to farming. So you didn't really delay him that much. KBU's strength to stop the Alchemist from farming comes from their ability to take down early towers. 12 minutes in, they have not taken down the bottom one, and the mid lane one hasn't taken almost any damage. This is a problem, and this is what is allowing Nouns to have such a huge lead already.
They're going to smoke up on the side of Nouns, as they will understand they're going to lose the tier 1 tower bottom, but they also know the positioning of these heroes, so they might be able to find a counter kill. Warden, though, also understanding the same situation, so with his Nyx Assassin, he will break up this attempt on a Realm's life. If Warden does not have level 6, everyone's dead, actually. They're losing at least 2 heroes, but because he does, They might have the opportunity to try and make a counterplay instead. They look over towards Mu, find him with the Impale. They should have more than enough damage to kill him. Man, I love Dota so much. This is a game of margins, a game of moments, and each individual moment can cascade down the line. If Warden is in a situation where, you know, he's the one that dies, for example, first in that previous engagement, suddenly he lacks the experience to get to 6. He doesn't have Vendetta. The smoke gank does connect. More heroes die, but because he does have 6, it's just Mu that dies, and his lane getting shoved in by Realm. It does seem also that this Doom has decided to go in for the Hand of Midas. Is the Greed Rod something you want to see from him in this game?
I mean, for me, the Midas on the Doom is usually the way to go. You know, you don't really need any early items. The side of KBUS, they're gonna be running in on you anyways, so you're gonna be ready to use the ulti. And now Timber is in some trouble again.
Yeah, he's probably gonna die here. It's been ruptured up. Here comes Ghana with the unstable concoction. We'll drop it onto his face. Costabile looking for some additional damage as well. They even throw in the Morty's Kisses to ensure this. Fiend's Grip also coming out onto Annihilate. Fiend's Grip with Morty's Kisses, with access to the Blood Right, no options for the Zeus. 2 core heroes die in the blink of an eye. Now this tier 1 tower in this mid lane should easily get pushed in by the side of Nouns. Man, this is so frustrating, honestly, for KBUS. They never feel safe on this map. At any given moment here, Harry Freak, somebody can get ruptured, doomed, gripped, and then there's guaranteed follow-up damage from so many quarters. And you're just not tanky enough, nowhere near tanky enough to deal with this just of yet. No BKB available on this Terrorblade. Timbersaw doesn't have the full Sergeant Kaya. So anytime that these spells connect onto you, it guarantees that they will be able to bring you down from the side of Nouns.
Yeah, KBUS, they don't have this tanky hero any longer. You know, Timbersaw, he's just not able to survive anything if he's close to enemy towers. So right now, he's gonna try to fight, and it's gonna end up badly for him yet again.
Gets himself doomed up though. He doesn't feel caught up with other more control just yet. At the same time, they are reaching over on towards the Warden. Husky will be the first one to die here. Mu will be able to help clean up the MMR tourist with the help of Costabile. 1-1 trade, but I mean, you have to commit Thunder God's Wrath, Freezing Field from PPD, and the Nyx Assassin, you know, is there soaking up damage with his own body. And all you get out of it is a Bane. Erstwhile, they're able to pick up a Timbersaw. Costabile, though, might end up dying in this mid lane. All right, never mind. That's a huge pickup for them to be able to pick up. In this situation, he thought he was safe. Close to his side of the map, everything was supposed to be okay, but somewhat underestimating the damage outlay coming in from KBU.
A much bigger thing is this mid lane tower. If KBUS can actually get it down, it's finally gonna open up the map for the Nyx Assassin a bit more, and then the Timbersaw really won't be needing to put himself out there. He can go more in defensive mode to defend the towers in a defensive position. It's gonna be much harder to bring him down, and then we can actually see the power of the Nyx Assassin with him maxing out the Impale. Shows that he wants to be more on the aggressive with the Nyx and less just pushing out the waves. So you know, you don't want to be surviving too many times in a fight. You just want to use your spells, get a kill, and get out. That is what this Nyx is gunning for with the Impale, and with the tower down, now it's going to be much easier.
I mean, we do have a situation. Oh, wait, we'll talk about this vision in a second, because we might have a dead MMR tourist Timbersaw, and whoo, he is very dead. Wow. One thing I was gonna say, that one thing I'm also loving as well is, as soon as they make that aggression past the tier 1 tower, they leave behind some vision here that's going to allow the Warden to play effectively on this side of the map. They recognize that you're playing into an Alchemist. One of the ways of dealing with this hero is aggressing into his jungle, preventing him from getting any big stacks and big farm. But Alchemist is like, alright, cool, I can't play my jungle, sweet, I'll play yours, I suppose. He's all the way on the other side of the map right now, farming up quite healthily here for Gunner. Mid lane, they might lose the Warden. They do not want to lose this death on the Nyx Assassin. You want to have as much time with him alive as humanly possible. And look at Nouns, realizing that they pretty much can't pass this line, because this now belongs to KBUS. They will now turn with damage going out onto Mu in this mid lane. Lots of it coming in from Annihilate. Not enough to get a kill just yet. Rupture will be on. Will Gunner be able to find a stun? No, he does not. Oh, he does! Where did that vision come from? It's Costabile with the thirst. Oh, that is so unfortunate for the Zeus. If he had a little bit more HP and wasn't caught by thirst, he probably lives and survives the situation. But he is very unlucky that Costabile is able to see him. And that will enable them to kill the Zeus yet again. It's the second death in the game, but Zeus is one of these heroes that you always just feel very impotent when you have to spend any time in the fountain.
It was so close though, you know, it was just like 10 HP away from being away from the thirst, but MMR Tourist, speaking about close, this time around he's not gonna be close to that, but I like the point that you made, you know, you're playing against the Nyx Assassin, the way you the way you play against this hero is that you stay together, so your supports don't have to really waste a lot of sentries, just with 2-3 you're protecting all of your heroes, and then when you want to go for a play you can use the smoke and just run into the enemies. That is pretty much how Nouns are reading this one, playing the top part of the map with the sentries and then going towards the mid lane to fight. With the BKB on the Seeker now, that's gonna be even easier to do.
BKB on Seeker, somebody found a Ring of Aquila as a neutral item, perfect for this Bloodseeker. What terrifies me though is that now that he has this BKB, he's going to be incentivized to go for this Aghanim shot, and at that point, the Timber Soul is going to be hating life. Terrorblade doesn't have BKB, is going for a tankier build for the Skadi, and whenever you go for these maximum stats, guess what? Percent base damage has a much bigger impact on you, so he's going to be hating life as well. And absent having BKB, doesn't have the defensive nows to stay alive in these fights. Does feel like these next several minutes are the most important phases of the game for KBUS. It hasn't gone perfectly for them thus far, but if they can weather the storm, it is possible to get past this phase of the game. However, now that they have this Blink Dagger on Gunner, they're going to want to go on the side of Nouns. I don't think they want to allow the time and space for this Terrorblade to become a big threat in this game. They're going to put as much pressure onto him as humanly possible now when they can.
And there it is, there's the smoke. So one thing that KBUS need to be doing at this point of the game, if they are going to be enabling their Terrorblade, no matter how strong he becomes, if the BKBs are high on the side of Nouns, you will be losing the big team fights when the timing does come. So you want to be losing the least amount of heroes that you can to force out those BKBs, but if the enemies are coming into you, they might not even need to use them, and they're still going to get a lot of kills.
Oh, unstable concoction into Blood Rite. I annihilate. You are super dead, my friend. Warden gonna end up joining you in the grave, and we were just talking about it, playing as a full defensive lineup to try and prevent the impact and the influence of this Nyx Assassin. Now that they've gotten this kill in the jungle, you can also spend time de-warding. Dude, look at Husky. Husky is actually so good at Dota. He TP's top immediately. He wants to try and catch MMR Tourist. MMR Tourist is now started out by this Observer Ward, but there's not enough mobility on Husky for him to fully close this gap. But Gunner has the Blink Dagger. He's going to be the one to make this happen. Tumbler Sway going forward. Husky, Nightmare up. They're waiting for some way to kill him. And there's going to be the Fiend's Grip. MMR Tourist is going to end up dying here. Oh my goodness. Dude, this Nouns team, when they have an idea in their mind of exactly how they want to play the map, their communication and their decision making is really, really impeccable. They immediately understood where to go, how to close that gap, and they already had preemptive vision in the area to ensure that once they got to that fight, they could secure it. And now with 30 seconds in the grave for a Timber Soul, who's around to stop you just going into this Roshan trick? And it dies relatively quickly thanks to the acid spray and the right-click damage of Gunner and Costabile.
Costabile already has the Axe Shard. He is gonna go for a full Mjolnir. I kind of expected the Basher to come out, but he probably feels like they have enough lockdown to go around. I have to say, I think KBUS know exactly what Nouns are up to in this game, how they want to play, but they just seem helpless at doing anything. I think at this point they are too afraid to lose the game right off the bat, and that is ultimately gonna be their demise, because all of these fights, they happen without Nouns using their BKBs. And remember what I said, if these BKBs are high, even if the Terrorblade gets ultra powerful, the other 4 heroes are just not going to contribute anything into a fight. This Zeus Aghanim Shard, you know, it should be doing a lot of damage, but if those BKBs are 9 seconds, he's going to die before he's actually able to use any of the spells. KBUS, in my mind, they have to ramp up the aggression. Those BKBs have to get lower, or, I mean, Nouns are just going to be unstoppable.
I mean, the way it's stacked up right now, Nouns is about to finish their 3rd BKB on the Doom, and they've been extremely disciplined about not utilizing these in the middle of awkward fights. They're going to jump now to MMR Tourist. Will he die here? Blood Rite will come out with the silence. The question is, where is the rest of the Disable? Rupture onto him as well. MMR Tourist, woo! Will end up being the first person to suffer the wrath of the shot from Costabile. He does force out the BKB though. Realm found himself getting stunned in the trees. Gunner, what a player on top of him to make sure that there's no ability to just get himself away into safety. And they will commit several spells to ensure he cannot TP out, but not even sure they were all necessary. They have the damage to kill him. Costabile in the meantime also able to run down PPD. And actually it's a good thing that he kills PPD, because I remember once PPD made mention of knowing what an enemy team wants to do is markedly different than knowing how to stop it. And right now we see KBUS being in that exact same position, 12k gold behind, but it's not about the gold lead, it's about how many items they need before they can reasonably contest these fights. Yes, they got the Scotty on the TB, but we just saw what a load of good that did him. He doesn't have a BKB of his own, so he has no presence in these fights. Timber so has no presence in these fights. And speaking of Timber, might actually be dead again in the top lane. And guess who's coming to help kill him? It's not just Moo, but it is our boy Husky. If Husky gets here, he is dead, but might not even need Husky to be around here. MMR Tourist will tank another unstable concoction. Moo is here, has the Stomp, Infernal Blade, gets thrown out. There's the percent base damage. They even dropped the Doom just to style on him. Okay, not entirely sure that was necessary, but who cares? You just got yourself another kill, and Gunner doesn't want to stop. Dude, relax, it's only a game. Oh my goodness, the Warden certainly going to end up dying here. And unfortunately, one of the things we didn't talk about, Harry Freak, is that Vendetta is not at all useful when you're at low HP because they already have Costa Bile with the first to prevent you from having any kind of invincibility.
Yeah, I just starting to change my opinion of you. You just said that Dota is just a game. I don't know how you can say something like that. This is not a game. This is a way of life, and we know how much it means to him. Of course, he's gonna go forward. Of course, he's gonna want to crush his opponent. But yeah, Gunner, he feels unkillable right now. And here we're coming to a situation that I mentioned. You know, the fights are gonna happen. You're gonna lose them anyways if you're a KBUS. In my mind, you should be losing them on the opponent's part of the map, because what's happening now is that you are losing towers as well, and Nouns is just gaining way too much ground and not using the BKB charges at all.
Yep. They've literally only popped the one. Alchemist, oh, they popped two, sorry. Alchemist down to 8 seconds, and Bloodseeker also down to 8, but Doom still fresh on the 9 seconds. Now can build into this Blink Dagger. Blink BKB, what a huge timing coming up. And at this point, honestly, as Nouns, this is one of the things that's always awkward about Nyx Assassin. When the enemy team just decides to 100% stick together, you literally have no play options. They have so much map reduction as well, given how much real estate that they've lost, that you can't even say, well, at the very least, I can justify my existence by getting some positive vision for us on the map, moving around in that fashion. It's just like, well, that actually can't happen for you, sadly. So they are in a very awkward position here, Harry Freak. And what makes it even worse is that whilst this Aegis is online, even though Gunner isn't at the fight right now, he has bots, so he can show up at any given time. So the fact that they know Aegis is still alive, they actually can't do anything. If they see any Radiant heroes, you have to immediately back off or risk getting jumped on and killed in very short order.
It is gonna be a very tough game from now on from KBUS, though to be fair, it was quite tough for them either way. Right now, what they're doing is they're just farming the Terrorblade. Once the Terrorblade gets the BKB, you're gonna go for that one last fight. When you look at KBUS, they don't really have good team fight. That is something that their lineup was lacking. And you know, right now at this point of the game, you cannot split push, you cannot pick off just because of the way that the enemies are playing. So what is left for you is a big team fight. So what is the item that we need? It's gonna be the BKB on the Terrorblade. So Realm, once they have that, that's gonna be the final smoke play from KBUS. The thing is though, you're probably gonna be super far behind that it might not even matter.
Yeah, I'm looking at how far he is from the BKBs. Just crossed the halfway Rubicon to get there, but by the time he finishes this BKB, I mean, Gunner already has bots 2, he's building into an Orchid. He will already have the Orchid at that point. Doom has the Blink Dagger, and Costa Bile is going to be finishing his own Basher as well. So that BKB will be there, yes, but the items needed to fight directly into the BKB and challenge it anyway are also going to be available from the side of Nouns. You always feel so sad. This is one of the things about being behind in Dota. You get the item that you need, like you can't fight without it, but even when you get it, it's still not sufficient. You know, it's a necessary but insufficient condition. Nouns, the one thing though is that they have lost out on the Aegis as it has expired, so KBUS has a small window of opportunity where Nouns are less likely to play uber aggressively until they get the next Aegis. So they can finish that BKB, but what then after? How do you actually take the fight? Who can move forward to open up the space for you? MMR Torres can't do it because he's going to die too quickly. Rewarded, we've already seen, already having major difficulties getting forward. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger either, so he can't start the fights for you automatically. How do you begin these engagements on the side of KBUS?
You wait wait for nouns to start moving between lanes. Yeah, MMR tourist is dead again. There's really not much that you can do about it. But the thing is, nouns are gonna have these moves and these towers that they want to go for. So the thing is, you need to predict where they're going on the map and catch them while transitioning. While transitioning between the lanes is where you can catch them. Even if, let's say, you allow them to have the Roche and you just place a ward around the mid lane, and while they're running towards the bottom lane, that is where you catch them. I think that is the only play KBUs have, just because the Nyx Assassin went for a 4-staff. If you went for a blink, you might have some initiation tool, but as a 4-staff, you really need to be in an area that you're protecting and just have perfect vision of the enemies coming in.
Speaking of vision, it seems like they have a read of where Mu as well as the Warden are. Warden just gonna die very quickly. Realm will be allowed to TP out just right next to him. Kind of an awkward place to be caught in, and there was no immediate play opportunity. And look at what they do. As soon as they get these kills bottom, they also immediately port Husky as well as Mu to the top lane near the outpost, making sure that KBUUS cannot spend this little moment of opportunity reclaiming map control. I'm sure PPD is telling his teammates, we can't see anything, but we also have no options. He's going to try to get forward, maybe throw out the sentry, knowing that there might be some vision close by, hoping to get the D-ward, but not really going to be there just yet. This game is so hard here.
You now know, or knew at least for a second, where the enemies are. I expected KBUS to get out of the base and set up in the triangle. The longer you wait in this game, the smaller your chances of winning are. You know that you're gonna have to fight for this tier 2, so you need to make sure that you have some vision there, and they're going for a smoke. I think this smoke is mainly to just put vision. I think if you think for a second that you can get a good fight around the mid lane, that you're actually kidding yourself. The best way to fight is wait in this area, wait for nouns, just to try to put the final nail in the coffin, and then catch them in that situation.
There's the vision that they need close to the triangle to make sure that they have access to these ancients. I annihilate. Can't really do all that much to farm them up, so they need to leave them to Realm, who does now have BKB. So the big item required to fight with, and he's gonna have to use it soon, because nouns are gonna smoke up themselves, looking for a finale engagement. You were talking about the nail in the coffin. They're trying to make sure that they shut this door tight onto KBUUS. This is so sad. You just reclaimed your triangle, but you're forced to vacate it pretty much immediately. I annihilate. Oh no! Heavenly jump away. Okay, that should give the necessary space for him to survive. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Dangerous smoke, scary smoke, but it's okay.
Yeah, nouns know what they're doing. The smoke, they probably weren't thinking they were actually gonna get the fight, but they know top lane is pushing in. Someone is gonna have to respond, even if they are set up in the triangle, which they probably are. We are gonna get there in a 4 versus 5 scenario at the worst case scenario for us. No, in reality, they're just gonna go in there, deward the area, and just claim the entirety of the map. And when it comes to catching heroes, top lane or deep into the bottom lane are gonna be much easier. So now with KBUS being on the top lane, they're actually much easier targets if you really want to catch them and kill them.
Dude, Husky's so good. He actually literally pinged exactly PPD's position, and now he's going to be porting top with Mu. They have a sentry down, so they know where the Warden is. They will be able to hit him with the Nightmare. No salvation is coming from the rest of his squad. He is being abandoned. Mu jumps forward with the Centaur Conqueror Stomp, and Costa Bile, the worst hero for the Warden to see, will now show up. No Rupture, so we'll finally just drop it and say, fine. He was trying to save the Rupture for a different purpose, but does get forced into committing the spell. Quick kill. Both supports dead on both sides of the map. Man, they are just relentless on the side of nouns, not allowing KBUS to do anything right now. And with Roshan respawning in about 30 seconds, they should be able to get the second Roshan, pick up the Aghanim Shard, and then try to turn that into the first high ground push proper of this game.
Okay, I think KBUS now, you know, that idea of catching nouns while they're transitioning, it is out of question. They're just being outmaneuvered at every single point, and nouns is going to continue doing this, push in the top lane, go towards the triangle, D-ward. When you go towards the top lane, they're going to go there. So they're going to be kind of repeating this move over and over again. Nyx Assassin not buying the shard, I think he understands he needs the blink. So KBUS, I think that is going to be your last hurrah. Maybe it's just going to be now. They might feel like they can't give away the Roche, but they're just gonna be running into a trap.
If they lose this fight, I think they should call GG afterwards. But fortunately for them, after throwing in the Thunder God's Wrath, that is the one thing they still have available to them, that easy scouting ability. And they realize just how well set up nouns are on this high ground. They don't have enough time to make a full wraparound. Do they have a secondary smoke? PPD does have 2 still in the inventory, so they are going to try and make the full move. The line is being drawn by Realm here, and they should be able to cross the river in time, so they can occupy this triangle on the Radiant side, smoke up again, and then still look for the proper wrap. But the main thing, though, they realize that if they give up this Roshan, the game is just over. Nothing they can do. Nice courier kill. Realm will remove the overwhelming blink from play. So it's a slight window where, not that Alchemist is weak, but he's less strong than he could be, lol. Kind of scary times, but I don't think they're going to do much more than at least play with this positioning. Sadly, though, if they don't smoke again and try to make something happen, then suddenly you're at risk of having your high ground sieged upon without you being in position to defend it. But here we go. Big smoke happening here, Hairy Freak. They need this fight. This is not allowed to go poorly for them. And MMR Tourist is the one that gets revealed. He got left behind. Oh no, there's going to be the rupture. Mu will pop BKB just to make sure that they can get this kill. But he hasn't popped the Doom just yet. He will throw it out onto the Terrorblade. We spoke about how TB doesn't always mind not having access to his spells. But unfortunately, if he's gripped up, that is the worst possible outcome. He's going to end up dying. The chase is not over. I annihilate his spot as well. This game is over, Hairy Freak. KBUUS lose 3 heroes. They went for massive wraparounds, some desperate positioning on the high ground. None of it ends up being important. And Gunner is not done just yet. He wants the MMR Tourist. He wants the Timbersaw. And this is going to be a dieback if he ends up losing his life here. And indeed he will. No opportunity for MMR Tourist to survive. 4 heroes gone. 5 kills in total. And this is looking like the beginning of the end. They don't even need the Aegis to start aggressing onto this high ground. And now staring down the barrel of claiming this opening game number 1.
And it is looking like this is gonna be it, you know. You were trying to find that one fight with the Terrorblade BKB for the past 5, 8, maybe even 8 minutes, and you just get absolutely destroyed. You know, Zeus not waiting for Defiant's Grip to come out to use his Nimbus, a slight mistake, but in the grand scheme of things, it probably would have changed much. The Terrorblade would have gotten like 5, 6 hits out and still drop down. And look at nouns, they really want to go to the LAN. You know, they're even though there's just almost no chance of them losing this game, they are gonna go back to Roche. The way that you lose this game is that you overextend, you give away Roche to KBUS, and you're gonna give them 5 more minutes to find a way to play. And nouns, they're not gonna make that mistake. They go into the Roche pit. KBUS, I think you go back to the earlier plan, go in your triangle, because you're not gonna be in the Roche pit in time.
Yeah, I annihilate going into the triangle right now. Gonna try to get some of these G wards, but there are no wards at all in that area anyway. It's all a moot point. It's Aegis now given away to Gunner. A Shaganum shot does get left behind. Of course, the Vita doesn't need it, so Husky is going to be the one to go claim it for that AoE brain sap, maybe. It does look like that's going to be the option. Is this really the best? Maybe give it to Mu, actually. I kind of like this Infernal Blade against the Timbersaw, but I think they're discussing it right now. And yeah, okay, Mu does get it. Mu does get it. Cool, 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 cool. We love to see it. This is what we want. Oh, no, wait. He's not activating it. He's still thinking. The entire team is just not sure. Who else needs an Aghanim shot? Z-Freak has a shot already. Gunner could use one potentially with the Berserk Potion. And,
he bought it.
he bought his own. Alright. Mu seems so reluctant. He's like, fine, I guess I'll use the free shot.
I think they were just wanting to see more net worth on the Alchemist. Maybe that was the case, but he's like, guys, I have so much money. I can buy shards for the entire team if need be, so just no reason to give that one to me. And Mu was really wanting to give that one to him. I think that's the only reason Gunner bought it. You know, sure, you do want to have the shard on the Alchemist, but you don't really need it this game. Even without it, you're gonna have an easy victory. 40k gold lead. This is I'd say an insurmountable lead at this point. Once the tier 2 falls, KBUS are not gonna have an access point to fight outside of their base, and that is where the game ends. Let's see now Terrorblade with the Lincoln Sphere. I like the itemization from Realm, but he's just so many items behind.
Yeah, let's compare and contrast, right? He has BKB, D-Lance. Well, his actual items are BKB, Lincoln, Scotty, and then he has these pseudo items in the Yasha, D-Lance. Bloodseeker sitting with a full Basher, Mjolnirs, Scotty, BKB, as well as the Shard. Gunner's out here chin-chilling with a Manta, Radiance, Bloodthorn, Overwhelming Blink, BKB, Abyssal, Aegis Shard, and Bots too. And even Mu is in a position where he has this Shiva's God BKB Shard. And this Shiva is honestly super good against all of these heroes on the side of KBUS. And we see that revealed right now. He jumps forward. They actually Doom the Warden. I'm pretty sure that was a little bit of a misclick from Mu. Would have rather much preferred to kill the Timber Sword, knowing for a fact that he does not have buyback and would be out of the game for quite some time, but still, whatever. Who cares? I don't think actually it matters that much, right? He's just like, alright, cool.
My boy Snare here dissing Dragon Lance and Yasha. Like, those are not items when your carry says in a game, I'm 6 slotted, what are you talking about? You look at him and say, Dragon Lance and Yasha, those are not items. And then he looks at the Dragon Lance and Yasha, and then he looks at the Alchemist, the Manta, the overwhelming Blink. Like, yeah, those are amazing. Like, Realm, your items, they suck. Yeah, definitely is the case. You know, he is pretty much doubling the Terrorblade. And, you know, even the Bloodseeker, if it comes to a 1 versus 1, the Bloodseeker will crush the Terrorblade with this shard, and especially because of the level difference as well.
24 on Costabile. Gunner is level 26. Moose 21. Realm is not even level 20. That just goes to show the difference in this game right now. At the very least, does manage to pick up a ninja gear, so if there's any kind of neutral item that'll make a difference in this game, it's going to be this one. But the smoke that they're going for now has to make a big difference. Gunner, dude, Gunner, look at Gunner. This read that Gunner has. He starts triggering the unstable concoction in the lane. Shows up onto MMR Tourist. You have an A on Dust Buddy, but well, all that's being accomplished right now is that we're increasing the cooldown of said item as they bring him down. No buyback available for him. How many buybacks are online in general for KBUUS? It's only the 3. 2 of them on the support and 1 on the Zeus. But the important heroes of Terrorblade and Timber, they do not have access to the side, to this buyback. How on earth do they defend this here, Harry Freak, as they go for the second lane of Rax for the side of Team Now?
They fight like men. That's how you go for it, because at least you want to show your teeth to the enemies so that they are afraid of you in the next game. At least the Doom, okay, that wasn't actually the Doom that gets used on the Lincoln, so not that big of a deal, but they do remove the Aegis.
Yeah. And it's still a decent timing left on that Aegis overall. We are finally getting to see what Terrorblade can do. These delusions with the Eye of Skadi as well as this Nimbus Cloud, pretty much preventing Nouns from being able to approach this high ground, dealing out quite a significant piece of damage. And that is the one item that we haven't actually seen being effective most of the time because he's just getting jumped on and bursted. But Skadi is super effective versus this Alchemist. Hates playing into anything that disables this regen. So they manage to defend. They buy time. I mean, it is 47k gold ahead. They have all the items, they have map control, but it's only 1 lane of Rax. If you're 40 minutes into the game and you've only suffered 1 lane of Rax loss, in principle with Terrorblade, you can still envision a scenario where you hold long enough for this hero to get large enough that he can still fight back the rest of the heroes on the side of Nouns.
The thing is though, if Nouns play this smart, they force out your meta like they just did, and then they come over. Of course, you are going into a Zeus, and that is, I think, the main reason why KBUS are still in this game is that they have a Zeus. The damage that the static field does is just insane. You're playing against 3 heroes that have really high HPs on the side of Nouns, so I think that's the main reason that KBUS are still in this game and that they're not GGing out. But when you're in this kind of a position, when you have this kind of a lead and you're Nouns, you can take your time just kind of choking them out, slowly finding an opening, and at some point there's gonna be a misstep from this Zeus. That is when you strike. So I don't have much optimism towards KBUS, but Nouns can always make a mistake. But for now, in this game, they have been clean from start to finish, so it's very hard to doubt them.
Definitely hard to doubt them at this moment in time. They've been looking so clean in how they've been playing out this game. Mu, what's he got flying out from the courier here? Because he has expended pretty much all his gold. Is it a refresher? Yes, it is. Full refresher complete. Mu's now gonna have access to the double Doom for these upcoming fights. 1 Doom was already proven very difficult for them to deal with on the side of KBUS. How on earth will they deal with 2 is the question. Although Nouns, you were mentioning it earlier, right? The fact that they really want to go to this land, they are going to be missing out on the major, and it's not a guarantee they go to TI. So if you want to go to TI, it helps to go to the land first, get some of that experience under your belt. Regrettably, because of that, it does mean that they're going to want to play maybe a bit more safely. But nope, they feel they're strong enough. They don't actually need the Aegis. All they need to be able to do is get to the backlines quickly enough, find this double Doom, and then suddenly you're not as concerned about how this game has been going. Pipe is going to be brought up right now by Z-Freak, so this magic damage you're talking about from the Zeus, the one saving grace of KBUUS so far, even that's going to start getting mitigated thanks to this pipe being picked up right now.
Yeah, that's a big one for sure. You know, having the the AoE magic damage reduction is gonna be a big deal. The active not so much, but just the magic resistance is gonna be insane for the entire team. I like that the Terrorblade does have the ninja gear. He's gonna try to split push, but that means that nouns are just gonna go inside your base.
Yeah. Here they are. Stabile did find a rupture out onto the Zeus on the far side. Got himself the level 25 talent to get the doubles, and there's the first Doom flying out onto Realm. You gotta back off and just wait. Can't actually do anything. I think this is really smart. Just using the Doom as a zoning tool. Not trying to force the fight, but trying to create an opening so that Gunner can start sieging the buildings themselves. They take out this Nimbus Cloud super quickly. Z-Freak utilizing this little shredder very well in this game in general. And Gunner will now pop BKB. They've taken the melee racks. They're out. And KBUS, they're chasing? Really? Okay. Jump forward now from Moo, but Moo got stunned up. He doesn't have the secondary BKB until it's a little bit too late. It does come out now, but they have managed to get the stuns out that they need onto the Terrorblade. Realm buys back, but it's not going to matter. Why did they chase outside the base, KBUS? They take the bait of a low-looking Alchemist. They move outside, and they end up dropping 4 heroes in response to that.
I mean, you know, you have a someone in front of your house threatening to kill you. Your best play is to go for them, but you actually couldn't do much there. I mean, KBUS, they're just way too far behind. They waited too much to be on the aggressive, and this is what's gonna happen ultimately because Next Assassin will have a blink fairly soon. He did decide to go for a shard though, so maybe next time when they try to chase, it's gonna be big. But someone needs to cancel the Fiend's Grip. If the Fiend's Grip did get cancelled, the Terrorblade actually would have been able to do much. So again, Nimbus Cloud being used earlier, the next assassin not being in position, that is what lost them the fight.
Speaking of Nimbus Cloud, it gets used up now. They're trying to save the life of Terrorblade. He gets himself doomed up. Gunner though, gonna turn his attention towards Warden. Kill him first. There is buyback available for him. However, if this Blood Rat can kill Realm, and it will, with the help of Z-Freak's Morty's Kisses, there's no buyback on the Terrorblade. PPD throws in this freezing field, but this is only a conciliatory freezing field. As he dies, Annihilate's about to lose his life as well. And the MMR Tourist, oh no, gets griefed out of the game, tilted out of the game. He quits, the GG is called. Z-Freak ends the game with an ultra kill to boot. And Nouns have demolished the side of KBUS in this opening game 1. GG well played is called. Might have been a 43-minute game here, Harry Freak, but there was maybe 40 minutes that Nouns spent pretty much ahead of everything in this situation.
Nouns were